This video is about evidence. Evidence, if you're looking at your whole paragraph, it goes after the context and before the analysis. So your paragraph goes claim, context, evidence in orange here, and then analysis. Your evidence is a quote from the text that supports or proves your claim. So there are four parts or four steps to writing your evidence. First, you pick a quote that supports your claim, not just any quote, but the quote that best proves your claim, and that was the first sentence of your paragraph. Then you introduce the quote, you write the actual quote from the book, and then you'll cite the quote. So here is an example. Here is my claim. My claim is figurative language helps us better understand characters. Then I'm going to find a quote. Number one, pick a quote that supports this claim. Okay, here's my quote that I found. I'm going to use this one. And I found this in the book. So these are direct words from the book. Then my second step is I would need to introduce the quote. So if I look in my book, I'm going to look to see who actually said this quote, and I find out that it's George. So I'm going to introduce this by saying George says, comma, and then I'm going to put this into quote marks because that came directly from the book. Okay, so I introduced the quote, I wrote the quote, and then I'll have to cite the quote now. The way that I cite the quote is by writing the author's last name, Steinbeck, and the page number, and the parentheses, and put a period at the end. Okay, a couple things to notice about the grammar. I put a comma here after George says. I start the quotation marks. I end the quotation marks after the quote, and then I put a space right here. So in between the end of the quotation marks and the first parentheses, I put a space, and there are no extra spaces except for right here between Steinbeck and 22. Notice I did not say page 22. Do not write that, just write 22, and the period goes at the very end, not right here. If this was a question, you could add a question mark here if that was in the book, and also have a period here. But otherwise, you don't need any punctuation here except for the end of the quotation marks.